Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where, as you can see, I have redesigned the Eve splashing machine somewhat. Pray that I do not redesign it further. So as I said, the flying system wasn't really working. This is a much simpler delivery mechanism. You'll also notice it's a combination satellite now. So it's a relay satellite simultaneously. That's great, but it's not exactly perfect for these photovoltaic panels. Let's go ahead and get rid of those. They're kind of a holdover from our previous versions. 1x5s? 1x5s are probably plenty, a pair of them. So I want to have snapping on here, and we'll extend that out. Oh yeah, that'll be more than enough power for this. Perfect. So from here, this will all be fine. And you'll notice here that we have substantially redesigned the gantry. Everything here is now good to go, and if we have issues with 12 of these, as in 12 of them don't get to our destination, we've got other problems, right? The real question now is, does this make it to the surface? I have not tested that, but we should find out. So we'll save this, and we'll put it out on the pad. We'll run a quick test to make sure that it'll get down to the surface intact. Well, the engines might burn off, but that's fine if they do. I'm not too concerned about that. So let's get this thing out on the pad as soon as KSP decides to start responding. Any moment now, KSP. You can do it. I have faith in you. Well, it's responding now. That's a good sign. Okay, here we are. So, assuming that this works, we're fully ready to go. So let's just simulate this real quick, make sure that this is good to go. And all we're going to do here is we are going to deploy this. Perfect. And now we need to deploy this decoupler. And off it goes. I had not anticipated that the decoupler stuck here. We should probably turn that around. Noted. But for the moment, it'll do. We'll just pop this over to retrograde. We have no real way to generate power, so the power that we have here is all we have. That might become a problem. We'll see. I definitely want this to be in a separate stage. There we go. And we're on retrograde in theory, right? Yep, we're on retrograde. Okay. No, this is prograde. Right, we need to flip around backwards because the engines are actually backwards on these. I'm dumb. Okay, so there we go. Beautiful. And we'll bring it down about like that. Goodbye. So yeah, this definitely needs to get flipped around. Noted. That is something that we can do. No problem whatsoever there. We are going to run out of electric charge pretty quickly here. That's a potential issue. But we'll see how this goes. Yeah, we're already out of electric charge before we enter the atmosphere. We're hoping that we're aerodynamically stable and get pulled around to retrograde. Well, technically prograde. We are getting pulled around. That's neat. This part here might be a problem, so turning those around will be a high priority. And we can't throttle up without any power. So lack of power could be an issue, but let's see how this goes. We could potentially toss some additional power on here. But I'm not sure how necessary that really is. We'll see. We're definitely slowing down. That's a good sign. But how quickly do we end up slowing down? We don't care if the engines or, well, anything radially attached here burns off. That's completely fine. In fact, that's probably for the best if this thing burns off. But if we've got other parts that burn off, problems could ensue. We're also noting that we're running pretty low on a blader, but I think we'll be okay on that front. We're already down to 2,500 meters per second. Actually, no parts have burned off thus far. Okay, no parts have burned off, so actually we don't need to make any changes here. That's fascinating. So let's go ahead and revert that back. We know now that we're going to be completely fine on that front. So that's cool. The next step, of course, is potentially utilizing the fuel that we've got here. And how would we want to do that? Well, I wouldn't mind turning around these radial decouplers. I don't think it's necessary, though, realistically. I think that's kind of a waste of time. Having a little bit more power on here, however, would not necessarily be a terrible thing. So we want, like, the smallest battery bank that we can, the Z200s. That's adding a lot of space here. So these are going to, like, clip together, right? Oh, we don't have this in symmetry mode. That would help. Let's get rid of all of this. There we go. So I'm guessing we're going to have some space issues here. Yes, that is accurate. We can, however, simply move this... Ooh, I don't want snapping enabled for that. Let's turn snapping off. And let's simply move this guy down a little bit. About like that. And then this guy down a little bit. And then this guy down a little bit. They're still clipped together a little. So let's move this guy up slightly. This guy up a bit. Okay. So now we've got plenty of space, right? There's no doubt about that. Ooh, hello. That didn't move quite what I thought it was going to. There we go. This is what we want to move. There we go. So turning around these radial decouplers is definitely not the worst idea. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. That is definitely something that I should have done previously. So we'll place this one here. We'll place this one. Is this the correct direction? Yes, it is. Okay. We'll place this one right about... It's hard to see exactly where it is. Right about there-ish. Cool. And then this one right about there. Excellent. Now we can get rid of these and just use this guy. Beautiful. We'll deposit him here. And then the next one we'll put here. And then the next one, actually we should have snapping on for this. So let me take this out of here. We'll snap this guy here. It's way too close in. Okay. So we'll put that back where it was. Snapping does need to be off. Awkward. Okay. Placing this here. Actually, here. There we go. And then this one can go here. With this one... Oop, that was not all of it. There we go. Then with this one going here. Maybe up slightly for this top one. There we go. We can even move this one up ever so slightly. There. Now we've definitely got space. Cool. So that should do the trick right there. We should be able to splash something down here, for sure. How much are we going to get paid for this contract? That's something we should probably figure out at some point. It's probably fine. It's probably fine. Let's go ahead and lift this thing off. It should be okay. In theory. Okay, let's send it. We're ready to go. We've got 12 attempts to get into a splashdown scenario, and that should be more than enough. We shouldn't have to do all 12 attempts, but if we deliver all of these simultaneously, we can just rapid fire them, right? So that'll be the idea. So of course, this time we're not going to simulate it. We're going to properly launch these. And that'll be absolutely fine. This will be wrapping us up at Eve. SAS on, throttle up. Let's double check our staging. Okay, this needs a little work. For sure. For sure. Our staging does need some work here. So all of these guys go up here, all of these guys go up here, and all of these guys go up here. These will all be like individually activated, right? And all of these as well. Okay. Noted. So these decouplers actually go here. Let's do a full staging check here. This is clearly necessary. So these fire, then our side boosters detach, then our main booster detaches, this fires, and our fairing detaches. Our fairing will likely be gone by the time we get there. 1.54, that's fine. Okay, and then all of this up here, well, technically, this should be a separate stage here. And then everything up here is kind of irrelevant. They'll be individually activated. Okay, so I think we're ready to go. Off we go. Beautiful. So this is going to be a combination communication satellite and not really lander, but splashdown machine. Ooh, we're really, like, going all over the place here. Okay. Well, that's exciting stuff. Very exciting. Why are we going so far off course here? Can we not? Interesting. Very interesting. This thing wants to go wildly off course. Well, I guess I'll manually hold it here. But man, that's exciting. Oh, that's why. At some point, our fuel tanks got re-broken. I have no idea when this happened. I know that we fixed it at one point. But that's exciting. I guess we'll try to have to bring this thing on down. But that's the problem here, is that these fuel tanks aren't being pulled out of evenly. Okay, so this is going to be interesting to bring down. I just assumed that this would be correctly set up because we correctly set it up last episode, but apparently that's incorrect. Okay, step one that we're going to do here. We're going to ditch the fairing. We're not getting that money back. And we're going to fire all these parachutes. Okay, we're heading around to retrograde right now. And we'll get there in the eventual times. At least we hope we will. Okay. We're not going to get there. I wonder if these parachutes... Oh, there they deploy. Okay, good. That's very good. That should pull us around to retrograde there, approximately. There's a big bend going on here. Obviously, this rocket is not designed for this, right? Very obviously. We're going to recover what we can. We're just trying to get this a little bit more under control at this point. So one of our side tanks is burned out. We've slowed down a decent amount. We'll see how much these parachutes slow us down further. What do we got for power here? Power's going fine. Power is going absolutely fine. We are slowing down a decent amount here, but we need to slow down a lot more. Come on, parachutes. We're going pretty fast right now. Parachutes deploy. Okay. That's not too bad. Okay, this is funny, but there we go. Splashdown. We're tipping, but it should be okay. Cool. So that's largely an intact recovery of this thing. Beautiful. We'll recover that. I like it. That was awkward. That was really, really awkward. No doubt about it. But the entire reason why that was happening and why we aborted it was because one of the fuel pipes got broken at some point. I don't know when that happened or why, because we definitely fixed it last time too. But here we go. Let's fix it, and let's get this thing going. That should be the only remaining issue. We got 119,853 back, so we got the vast majority of it back. That's good. We did burn off some fuel, of course, that we don't get back, and our fairing that we don't get back, but that's okay. Yeah, we got the vast majority of it. So the problem here is that this fuel duct didn't reattach at some point, but this one did. I got nothing. I don't know why that happens, but sometimes it does. There we go. We'll save and launch. That was the whole problem. Okay, let's get this thing out of here. This time it shouldn't pull wackily over to one side. In theory. In theory. Any moment now, KSP, you can do it. I have faith. I know this is a complex craft, but even so. So we're going to throttle up, SAS on, and off we go, pulling evenly from our tanks this time. Beautiful. Side tanks are pulling evenly. And let's go ahead and begin our gravity turn. Oh, this is so much better. There's a little bit of wiggling going on here. No doubt about that one. Let's just lock to prograde. And we'll call this good. 92-degree heading is fine, I think. And we can see our delta V just skyrocketing as we go up. That is reasonably expected. And our burn time on our side boosters is about 40 more seconds. Looking good. I'm going to start correcting our apoapsis, or rather not our apoapsis, our heading a little bit here. By pulling it down. That's, I think, slightly better. Gonna correct it a little bit more. There we go. Okay, we now need to settle into prograde for a clean detach. Here in another 5 seconds of burn. And it looks like our apoapsis height is going to be plenty high. What? What all blew up in here? Why did these all detach? Because I didn't fix the staging. Oh, I'm dumb. Okay, we're going to revert that for time's sake, and we're just going to deduct the cost. That one's a loss. Oh, wow. We had this all fixed, but I did it outside. Okay, so we're going to just deduct the funding. So that is 100,000. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Okay. No, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. That's the cost deducted. The staging was broken. We knew that, but I'm in such a hurry to get this thing going. Okay. Let's split all this off. Let's get this all refixed in the VAB so we don't have to worry about this in future. And this would go here like that. The fairing is going to be manually done. Okay. There we go. Now we're off for realsies this time. And we paid an extra 5,000 just to get that done a little bit quicker. That was just for the sake of time. We're just calling that one a lost cause. Technically, we could have recovered some of it, but it's not worth it. Okay, well, maybe this time all of the problems are actually fixed. I was just assuming that the staging was already fixed because we had already done that, but no. Of course it wouldn't be. My own fault entirely. Throttle up, SAS on, and off we go for realsies this time. I swear, this time is for real. Okay, let's start our gravity turn here. Heading right on over. Cool. And we'll just lock to prograde here pretty soon, but I want to get a little bit more horizontal speed than we did last time. There we go. This should work. Cool. So yeah, more horizontal speed, a little bit less vertical. We had plenty of vertical speed previously. That was certainly not a problem. Our heading is a little bit better this time. No problems there. So that's all looking great. We've got another 30 seconds of side boosters here. And our apoapsis height is already up over 30 kilometers. I think we're looking fine. Heading is drifting a little bit. Not too concerned about that, though. 10 more seconds on our side tank boosters. 2, 1, mark. Clean detach, as opposed to last time. And our apoapsis height is plenty high. Let's just head on over to the horizon at this point. We need horizontal speed. Beautiful. Just correcting our heading ever so slightly here. There we go. And we'll burn here horizontally until we get up to about 100 kilometers. We can ditch our fairing as of now. So off goes the fairing. And there's 100 kilometers. I'm going to go to like 102. There we go. Cool. Now, at this apoapsis, of course, that's not quite at the apoapsis. There we go. We will look to push this out. That's quite a lot of delta V to circularize, but we didn't have all that much horizontal speed. So let's go ahead and maneuver over for that. We are now in space, so we'll extend our solar panels on out. Excellent. And we'll prepare for this burn in about 1 minute, 35 seconds. We'll just warp. Cool. 20 seconds. And burning in 3, 2, 1, mark. And off we go. Got this eclipse brewing up over here. I like it. 20 more seconds on our burn. Well, 25. And then we'll set our course over to the moon, which, of course, is right here. This is not the direction we're going to be burning. But we just got to get into orbit first. We've got quite a lot of fuel left in this stage. That's great. 100 meters per second to go here. Okay, this is close enough. That'll do. So, at this point, of course, we set the moon as our target. We don't really care about being 5 degrees off, but sometime around the descending node is probably when we're going to want to shoot out here. Little bit earlier, it looks like. Actually, a little later. What am I talking about? Cool. That's an escape trajectory. Is it an impact trajectory? It is not. So that looks good. We'll go ahead and line up for that burn. And we'll warp over to it. I definitely want to get that burn done. I was definitely hoping to be a little bit further than this by the end of this episode. I was hoping to be arriving at Eve by the end of the episode. But of course, we had some technical difficulties. There's no doubt about that. We'll go ahead and warp on forward. Beautiful. And our burn out to gravity assist around the moon will be happening in about another 10 minutes here. Make that 5 minutes. 2 minutes. 1 minute. Let's continue to warp a bit. 40, 30, 20, 10. And commencing burn in 3, 2, 1, 0. And off we go. Fantastic. So we're headed off to the moon. This burn will continue for another 20 seconds here. And this will burn out the majority of our remaining fuel here, but some of this fuel will definitely be utilized in our inclination change on the way over to Eve. I think we'll have about enough to get it done with this tank. This tank is definitely not... Oh, we overshot a bit. Let's bring this back around. We need to correct this, for sure. We overshot. This tank is not going to be enough to get us to Eve, but this one absolutely will. We're pretty overkill here, especially with this tank here, but I wanted this comsat to exist. So that'll be fine. We'll bring this back around and do a slight corrective burn. We are 17 meters per second off on our trajectory. So let's get that fixed. We don't need to burn it all the way back, just enough so that we're definitely not going to impact. This is good enough. And we've still got an escape here. Beautiful. And with that, it is unfortunately time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to head off to Eve. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, ALS Gamer, Kentuin, James, Shadowwolf, Mlohan80, Kentogan, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Unisil, Kadra, Ro Corvid, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.